In the repair shop today, an astral alliance as Richard...
Oh, you can see it's an old porthole.
...and Dom restore a telescope built from scrap metal.
I don't know where some of these parts have come from, like maybe trucks or big water mains parts. It almost looks like it's off a bridge.
While Kirsten calls upon an extra pair of hands to help repair a shattered bowl with an extraordinary history.
I don't know how you do this. This is proper nerve-wracking.
Can't handle it.
No, I can't. This is too much.
But first, a tale of adventure. Rupert Truman brings a cherished hand-me-down for the attention of Suzie Fletcher and Lucia Scalisi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Suzie.
Hi, Suzie. Rupert. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Very pleased to meet you.
Hi, pleased to meet you.
So what have you brought into the repair shop today?
Well, this is Father's briefcase. Dad was an adventurer, and he's taken us pretty much everywhere he's been.
Wow. Oh, my goodness, you say an adventurer?
Yeah.
Tell us more.
One day he found an advertisement for a job in Africa. So he half-heartedly sent off for the thing, went to London for the interview, with this bag on his knee, got the job, and he took this case to Africa with him.
My word.
Where in Africa?
In Rhodesia, as it was called in those days, what we call Zimbabwe now. On his way to the docks to get on the boat to go, he bought himself an ex-army Willis Jeep, loaded it on the boat.
Thrilling.
He arrived in South Africa, then he needed to find his way 2,000 miles
It's a
or so.
long drive.
This
How
is-
old was he?
He would have been just about 30.
And how long was he in Africa for?
He had three or four different spells out there, probably 6 or 8 years at a time. And my important years as a schoolboy was spent out there. It was a fabulous life. And it's very cliched, but this has been a part of the family. We went camping someplace, and I remember sitting with it on my knee, using it as a breakfast tray. I can remember it being used as a doorstop. This thing's it's been ubiquitous. It's been in our lives, you know.
What do you want us to do with this?
Well, clearly there's a lot of story in every mark, in every scratch in this thing. You know, I don't want a new bag back. I want my dad's bag back.
Yeah.
Since as a kid I used to dress up in his shoes, which were way too big for me, and I'd wear his hat and I'd swing this bag and I'd carry it around the house. It's a piece of him.
You're very close to your past.
Very much so, yeah.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic, seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for bringing in this wonderful
my
adventurous
pleasure.
case, and I'm so looking forward to start working
It's
on
been my
it.
pleasure. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
Such an exciting and lovely story.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll be in touch. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I didn't have the heart to throw the bag away after Dad died, and it finally did pass to me. My hope is that we'll be able to put the bag back to use. Him and that bag travelled millions of miles. They did everything together. I think he'd be pleased to know that the bag and I were going to continue the journey that he started with it.
It was such a nice story, wasn't it?
Really lovely.
Yeah,
Really.
and you know, for this lovely adventurous bag to have that whole family history in there.
Definitely.
What do you think you're going to do to it?
It's got some pretty critical damage here. The main part being in the gusset, in the holes. It's like Swiss cheese. So typically, what I do is take the bag entirely apart, line the gusset
Yeah.
to give it the strength, because I want to keep the outside appearance complete.
Yeah.
Same as with the handle. His
Yeah.
father's hand has been wrapped around it. Those are the main things I got to focus on. Give it a really good cleaning condition. But what do you think about the lettering?
Yeah, I think the lettering, it's been through many years of experience and adventures. Keep it absolutely minimal, any intervention I do, but maybe just pick up a little bit of this letter T.
Perfect. Okay, well, I'm going to take it over to my bench, get started, and then I'll bring it over to you to finish off.
Great. All right.
Lovely.
see you.
Thanks. The first thing I'm going to have to do is to take this bag completely apart. That means undoing all the stitching that's holding the gusset in. And once I've got the gusset out, I'll be able to lay it flat and line it with some strengthening leather I really got to be careful because it could so very easily tear. But one stitch at a time, I'll get there. Somebody wanted to make sure this never came apart. And they did a really good job.
As Suzie toils away, unpicking stitch by tiny stitch, a much larger item is making its way to the repair shop.
Hello there. Hello. You okay? I'm Dom.
Oops, nice to meet you. I'm Simon. I'm Richard. Let's have a look. It's a bit on the large side.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Simon Mosely and his son Jake have travelled from Portsmouth, hoping optics expert Richard Biggs and metal expert Dominic Chinea
Let's get it inside.
can get a fantastical, marvellous machine working again.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Well done. Wow.
You look shocked.
Okay, where do we start?
Where do we start?
Can we have a look? Should we
Yeah,
get this
by
out
all means,
of the
let's
way
unwrap
first?
it. Let's get this out.
It's like Christmas.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
What on earth is this?
It's actually a telescope. It's a reflector telescope, so it has a mirror on the end. And this is the base. It all mounts on. When it's working, you can adjust the angles that it sits at.
You should twist these and it should
twists these
spin.
and spins and twists and everything. The most fascinating thing is my dear old granddad built it himself.
No, he didn't.
From scrap.
Not from a kit?
No,
from
nothing like
plans,
that. Ed Ventham, everyone called him.
Ed.
Or Ted was his friendly name. He was a lorry driver for the Portsmouth Water Board.
Okay.
And during the Second World War, he became an air raid warden, and he collected bits from bomb sites and scrap heaps and built this. Amazing.
It looks tongue and groove, doesn't it?
It does. This is slats from a shop in Old Portsmouth that was bombed. It's got old stopcock handles, do all the adjustments.
Oh my God, the more I'm looking at it, the more bits I can see.
Yeah, exactly. And then the mirror is a porthole from a boat.
Oh, you're kidding.
Which he hand ground the mirror himself.
That takes days and days.
This is an impressive thing to make, isn't it? Something kind of blown away.
He was a fantastic chap.
What was he like? Yeah, he was
amazing chap. Really, really funny, really friendly, but he always wanted to better himself. He was always reading books, buying scrap books. Real amazing person.
What a clever guy.
Yeah.
I never met him. I was born way after.
Yeah.
But recently, just finding out what he achieved. No formal training, just had an interest.
Just loved it.
Just a sensible chap who was interested in things.
Yeah. Well done, Ted.
Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Clever.
So when did you actually get this into your possession?
I first came aware of it when my grandfather died in 1991. We tried to get it set up and working to watch Halley's Comet when it came round, but it wasn't really that successful. This is the main problem. When we had it set up, and it was slipping and moving, there's obviously some damage and some bent bits of metal.
God, this is going to be a job, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
To get all this working again.
Glad I do the lenses, you do the metal.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for bringing it in. We will do our best.
Brilliant. Lovely to meet you. Thank you ever so much for your time.
Lovely to meet you.
See you later. Bye now. Take care. Thank you. Feeling excited, really excited to have grandfather's telescope back working properly so that we can actually use it.
He was able to put that together from scrapyard bits and bomb sites.
Yeah. You don't expect a lorry driver to be able to do something like that, so it just shows the character of my grandfather. Just amazing chap.
I'm kind of blown away by this.
Yes.
Are you?
Yes, indeed.
It's impressive.
The actual telescope can be made to work because the lens and the prism, that will make just a telescope.
In theory,
it's then holding it in position.
Oh, I see what you're doing. You're saying
your problem with the mount.
So that's quite a good little split there. So you can have to take all the fragile pieces. Yeah. I'll take the big heavy bit.
Give you a hand with that. That's a bit heavy.
Do you mind? Is that all right?
I do, but I'll give you a hand.
That's it.
All right?
Yeah.
You've got more weight than I have.
That's fine.
There's two things that have to be almost perfect. The lens has got to be nicely silvered and reflective at the back. That's got to send up a lovely image to hit that prism, which has got to be clean and in exactly the right position, because if it's slightly angled, it's going to be sending the light into the wrong place. It's no wonder he didn't get much of an image out of it. Oh, you can see it's an old porthole. Oh, that was horrible. He's actually put springs in so that the mirror can be tilted and adjusted. Oh, that is quite magic. I'm well impressed. Now that that's out completely, it can go away to be mirrored. They'll strip all the old stuff off, clean it as much as possible, but the overall effect, when it comes back, it will be quite staggering. Right, let's get it off and away.
Having painstakingly unpicked all the stitching from the tired and tattered leather case, Suzie is making a start on the interior.
I have finally got the gusset of the adventurous case taken apart, but we have got some pretty significant holes in the leather. I'm going to line this gusset with a new piece of lining leather, and this will give it back its strength and fill those holes and those cracks. So the glue is almost dry. It's a bit tacky, which is perfect. So this is where I get a little bit in a mess. But I've got a centre line here. I'm just going to drop that onto. Not pressing it as such, and just letting it roll down through the length. I'm just trying to sort of iron out all the little kinks in it. I think just about won that battle. I just need to let the glue cure, and then we'll be ready to trim it up for stitching together. Right, so now I'm at the point where I can start repairing the handle of Rupert's case. Fortunately, this handle isn't as bad as it looks, but the chapes, which are the pieces of leather that hold the handle on each side, are showing signs of wear. So I need to get those replaced, and then I can just tidy up the handle. Now I just need to do a crease mark around the edge here. And this is partly for a decoration, but also it helps me line up what we call a pricking iron to mark the holes for stitching. Okay, so now I've got the prick marks in place. That's ready for me to stitch back onto the bag. But before I do that, I do need to do a little bit of work on the handle itself. It still has its strength because the inside is made of a very heavy leather, and it's covered by this softer leather that's just wrapped around. I just want to glue this down. Okay. So now all I have to do is just sew out these two ends, and it'll be ready to be mounted. Now I've got everything prepared, ready for reassembling, and I'm a big fan of stitching cases by hand rather than doing them on a sewing machine, because hand stitching is, in many cases, a lot stronger. So it's all back together, which is wonderful. I'd like to take it over to Lucia and see if she can maybe help pick out these letters a little bit better.
Outside, another hopeful visitor. Penny Benison is hoping ceramics expert Kirsten Ramsay can repair a century-old heirloom with an extraordinary history.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm Jay.
Hi, Jay. I'm Penny.
Hi, Penny. I'm Kirsten.
Okay, looks broken.
It is broken. It's a beautiful dish that used to belong to my grandma, Lola.
So tell us about the history of this bowl then.
My grandma and my grandpa and my dad lived in a place called Danzig, which is now known as Danzig.
And where is that?
Well, Danzig was, at the time, in the 1930s, after World War I, it became a free state on the Baltic Sea.
Right.
and it had lots of Jews that were German, lots of Jews that were Polish. Everyone lived happily together.
Right.
Then, as World War II loomed and Hitler was in power, there was a lot of antagonism towards Jews, and we're a Jewish family. So my grandpa, who was senior in a telecom company, was told by one of the Nazi people, if you don't get out now, you're going to be arrested tomorrow.
Oh. So he was given a heads up?
He was given a heads up, thank God. And basically, my grandma had to pack up the flat they lived in, and actually the packers, who were obviously all Nazi sympathisers, were taking out things, whatever they could find, smashing it on the floor and laughing at it.
Hold on a minute. So there was people in there smashing?
Yeah, deliberately, yeah. So there were very few things that did actually make it out. And when my dad came to London, he gave it to me, and it had been mended once before.
I saw that, and there's another...
Yeah, but actually when it broke this time, the cat jumps up on the table, the bowl smashes, and there it goes.
Not the cats. The story I hear quite frequently.
I felt really crushed, I have to say. It's like, you know, because it is irreplaceable, and it's a sense of history, and it's, you know, it's important to me.
Yeah.
My grandma I spent many happy years with, and I think she died when I was about 29.
Oh.
And then, you know, very sadly, my dad died coming up for 5 years ago. And this whole thing is obviously tied up with all the love and memories of my dad and my grandma, you know.
Oh, bless you.
It's a challenge I'd love to take on for you.
That'd be amazing, thank you. I'd be thrilled.
Yeah.
Well, leave it with us.
Thank you so much.
We'll
Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely
very
to
much.
meet you.
Lovely to meet you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I'm really sad to see the bowl in its current condition, and I'm just really hopeful that Kirsten will be able to do a beautiful job on it. If the bowl can be in one piece rather than 7, that would just be gorgeous.
It's amazing this has made it out, though, isn't it? Hey?
Really amazing. I think the first thing is to actually see, you know, if there's anything actually missing. But I've also got this previous restoration, which, although it feels very good, it's quite a dark line, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I've got the dilemma, what do? Do I actually take this apart, try and improve on that restoration as well as doing the rest of it? I'm just going to see how it goes.
OK, cool.
There you go, Jay.
Is that all right?
I'll take that.
You're
yeah.
taking that? OK.
All right. Okay, so now that I've actually seen that I've got all the pieces here, I've decided that I would like to try and undo the restoration that was previously done. So I am going to just apply some paint stripper, and I'm hoping that that's just going to soften up the previous repair and enable me just to take the pieces apart. So I'm now going to wrap that with some tin foil for a little while, and hopefully the chemicals that can actually work away in the tin foil and loosen previous restoration.
In the outdoor workshop, Dom is discovering some very surprising fixtures and fittings.
Oh, here we go. Oh.
As he wrestles to dismantle the hefty homemade telescope's base.
It's a real mash of parts. I don't know where some of these parts have come from, like maybe trucks or big water mains. Some of these nuts are absolutely massive. I'm starting to really get into the nitty-gritty bits, and at some point I think it's fallen over, and the weight of the thing has bent this main shaft. This is quite a big problem, and that worm gear there needs to run against these brass teeth, and that needs to be perfect. So this wobbling around like that is not going to work.
Inside the barn, Richard will be seeking similar precision as he sets about restoring the telescope's optics.
If you look at the muck on the prism there, golly, it's filthy. That's woodlice poo. Methylated spirits is getting all the grease and the dust off. Is coming up really quite well. I don't think I'm going to have to use anything more abrasive. So that slides back in. I don't know why that bolt is so long, but it doesn't really matter. Ah, it's so long because 3 of these screws are the adjustable ones, so I can get the actual angle of the prism correct to the angle of the main lens. If the angle's wrong, the light gets scattered away from the eyepiece. More and more impressed with his workmanship.
Meanwhile, Dom's work on the bent and twisted turning mechanism continues.
Unfortunately, it's bent right on the threaded part, so I'm going to try and heat up the area and try and bend it back into shape whilst that's hot. It just needed a little tweak, and it seems to have worked pretty well. These 2 bearings need replacements because these are both bent. These are part of the main worm gear that hold the main adjustment. So I've got myself an old skateboard. I'm going to take off a couple of bearings out of one wheel and see if they're the same size. There we go, so that's one of the bearings out. And you know what? It does look close. So that hopefully now should slot. Oh, fantastic. That's exactly right. I'm going to be able to use the bearings from this skateboard to repair Grandad Ted's old telescope, which is quite magic really to be able to follow in his footsteps. The whole mechanism wouldn't turn before, and it's now spinning, so it's 100 times better than before. So it's going to function as it should.
The upcycled mechanics of the base are finished with a protective coating of enamel, while inside, the glass lens is back from being resurfaced.
It's not bad, considering the age of this glass, 70-odd years. It will produce a much better image than it was when it first came in. The mirror and the prism have to be in the same optical path, or you don't get a very good image. I can actually use these to adjust the position of the mirror relative to the prism. And this goes back on here. This is the biggest telescope I've ever had to manhandle around on a bench to work on. Now going to fit the prism. That's ready to go in, down, gently. The prism's in its position, but not quite adjusted yet. No, can't see anything at all. So I've got to start doing quite a bit of an adjustment. I've actually got a laser collimator, which is going to put a beam down, bounce off the prism, bounce off the lens, and come back again and back onto my target. But I'm a long way from that yet.
After hours of skilled leatherwork, the well-travelled and much-loved case is now structurally sound, but needs the artistic eye and deft touch of Lucia Scalisi to preserve the all-important initials of the original owner.
I'm just going to strengthen the T. This whole side has all but disappeared, really. And I'm just using little tiny dots just to bring the outer edges together. I don't want to do too much, I just want to make it more readable. That's probably about it. So I'm going to leave those scars on it. They all tell a story, and that is great. I'm finished.
Now that Lucia's done the picking out the letter, it's got that lovely and vibrant. What I need to do now is just go over it very lightly with a conditioner. You can really see the beautiful copper horse chestnut colour, and you just can't emulate that. It just has to occur through age. But when you're doing the final buffing up, that's when I really get excited. I can see all the work that I've done and the life that's been put back into the case. There we have that beautiful sheen. I'm really happy. Most important thing is that Rupert's happy, though, so can't wait to give it to him.
When Rupert brought the case to the repair shop, he was intent on having it preserved as a symbol of the bond between him and his late father. Now he's returned, along with his daughter, Lucy.
I'm here today to pick up my father's leather briefcase. As a little boy, I dreamed of growing into that man and carrying that case, and I'm hopeful that I get a chance.
This is something very precious to him, and he's quite emotional about it. So I'm really excited to see how it's turned out. I'm sure he's going to be very happy.
Hi.
Hey, Rupert, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
How are you?
Hi, lovely to meet you.
And you are?
Lucy.
Lucy, lovely to meet you. Well, how are you feeling?
Excited. Very excited. I'm just dying to see. I really am dying to see.
All right, well, I'm going to put you out of your misery here.
My. Wow, that is stunning. I had a picture in my head as a little boy of what this case was going to look like, and there it is. It's got its shape back. It's a beautiful colour. And look, the holes have gone. That is incredible. And that's exactly how I imagined it was going to feel.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking he's there. Yeah, he's there with me.
There's something very tangible about that handle, isn't there?
Definitely. Yeah. I can most definitely feel him going off on his adventures. You know, big moments and small moments, they're all there. Thank you. You've given me that back. It's wonderful.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you, Rupert.
Thank you very much
This
indeed.
has been wonderful. Thank you. And lovely.
Thank you ever so
to meet
much.
you. You're very welcome. So you take care.
Thank you.
Look after that case.
I will, most definitely.
Okay, bye-bye.
That's been quite a moment. It was just everything I'd hoped for. It was more than I'd hoped for. I know that every time I use that case, you know, he's going to be with me. I take him with me everywhere I go now. But it's going to feel a little bit stronger having that connection in my hand, like he did.
The restored leather case is safely on its way home with its owner, but not everything in the barn is going to plan. Kirsten has come unstuck.
Having tried sort of various techniques to actually take this old restoration apart, I don't know what they've been stuck with, but I cannot get them apart, and I'm potentially going to do more damage to this bowl by actually sort of persevering. So I'm hoping that actually once the rest of the piece is back together, I'm going to just be able to improve that old restoration there. I've cleaned the surface and I've cleaned most of the break edges. But what I have got is this dirty area in the centre of the bowl. So I'm actually going to see if my steam cleaner would just try and lift that dirt away. That's already just starting to lift off the dirt. And it's a little bit like jet washing your patio or something. There's a temptation to kind of draw in it, but it's lifting away the dirt quite nicely. I'm very happy with that outcome. So I'm going to start assembling the Danzig bowl. This is always really exciting because actually all the preparation that I've done up until now kind of comes together. This is it, this is the moment, and there's really sort of no going back.
How you doing, Cuz?
Oh,
You look like you got your hands full there. You all right,
yeah? This is quite tricky.
Is it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Why is it tricky?
Because I need some more hands.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dot the adhesive along the edge,
Right.
and then if you can do the tapes for me.
Whatever you do, don't sneeze now.
Don't you sneeze. Right, so I'm going to offer these pieces up. Could you pull
Keep
that?
that one,
Yeah, fantastic, thank you.
There we go. All right, there you go. Bosh.
Okay.
I can breathe now, yeah?
No,
Okay.
not till it's all together. I'm going to pull that across, and maybe you can...
You want it there?
Yeah. So,
I can feel that moving.
yeah, good.
Whew. Okay.
Can you pull those two for me while I... So pull quite hard. That's it.
Yeah.
Great, yeah, perfect.
I don't know how you do this. This is proper nerve-wracking.
You can't handle it.
No, I can't. This is too much.
God, it is easier with two people, actually.
I think Penny's just going to be made up that you've been able to get it back together.
Yeah, thank you.
I need to sit down now.
Cheers.
Okay.
The next stage is to start filling these cracks. This is one of those sort of stages that you get to where it's actually going to look worse before it starts to look better. And you kind of just have to hold the faith. I know that it's going to come out beautifully in the end. But it's all just part of the process, really. So once I've actually finished filling all of these areas, I'm then going to just sand them back using a fine glass paper and just get them as smooth as I possibly can, ready for the retouching.
It's been a gargantuan mission that's seen Dom and Richard using fire, lasers and a whole lot of elbow grease, but the scrap metal telescope is almost ready for stargazing once more.
The last thing is to take the eyepiece out, replace it with a laser collimator. If I get a beam near dead centre, it proves to my satisfaction that the mirror and the prism are lined up. Perfect.
With the optics now crystal clear, science meets heavy metal as the two giant sections can be reunited.
Okay, yep, I'll hold those. Go on then. Can't imagine Grandad Ted setting this up on his own in his shed roof.
He must have had one of his mates to help.
It's such a big old thing. So hopefully, if I undo that, it should spin. Yeah. There we go. That's working, which is really good, because that's the bit that was broken before.
And the balance now means that you've got that slow motion.
Perfect. Oh, it's so nice to see it all working properly.
Oh, it's super. What you've done there is absolutely brilliant now. What are you doing? Oh. Get out of it.
With the telescope pointing proudly skywards once again, it's time for Simon, along with son Jake, to collect his granddad's legacy.
I'm very, very, very excited about seeing the telescope and just that connection through using something that Grandad built, that Mum used, and actually looking at the moon that they looked at.
Oh, yeah.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you again. You okay? How are you feeling?
Exciting, really exciting.
So you hope we've done it?
Yeah, this isn't just some frame making us think it's there, is it? Uh-oh.
You ready?
Back. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. Gosh. It's fantastic. You absolute diamonds. That's amazing. Oh, I don't want to touch it.
No, don't. Please do. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The first time I've ever seen it in one piece.
It's an impressive thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say other than thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. We're both sort of right in the mind of Grandad Ted.
Yeah, he'd be absolutely amazed. He'd be so pleased.
He did a brilliant job.
Oh, blown away. Absolutely amazing.
Does it take you back? Do you want to have a look through it? Should we open the doors and have? Do you
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Cool.
That's a slow motion that way, or you can disengage and spin it without it going ratchety, ratchety, ratchety.
Yes. Yeah.
What I'm aiming for is the brickwork down on that building.
I suppose it's got to see things a long way away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have a look at the bricks.
Okay. Oh, wow. You can almost see the grains of sand between the bricks.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, look, Jake, that's just stunning. Wow.
It's great, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. How did you get that so perfect?
It's incredible, isn't it?
Ted that got it so
Yeah,
perfect.
got it absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
When I looked through the telescope, I'm absolutely amazed at the clarity of the image. It was absolutely pristine. Great respect to the chaps that have done it. It looks amazing, and I'm having such fun using it. I really am.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. I think the first thing I'm going to do is start with the moon. You can't miss that, can you? I'm sure if Grandad was here today, he'd be absolutely thrilled to see it. I'm sure he'd be absolutely over the moon to actually see it all up and running again.
Also shooting for the stars, Kirsten. She's nearing the end of her miraculous restoration of a bowl rescued from Danzig on the cusp of the Second World War.
So I'm really quite excited. This is the very final stage of the Danzig bowl. It's been such a lovely piece. The decoration, the glaze, it's all just gone together quite nicely. And I find it quite difficult to know when to stop. There's a couple of little bits here that I just want to tweak, and then I'm going to have to step away and call it a day. And of course, for Penny, I really do want that wow factor. I want her to walk in and to see it and see that transformation.
This dish survived the Nazis and journeyed with generations of a family living all around the world. But it was an accident with a cat that saw it broken into 7 pieces. But Kirsten's skill and patience have rendered it whole again, ready to be reunited with owner Penny.
I am hoping that it will just be beautifully restored. I'm really hoping that it will be done in a way that you can't even see it was broken in 7 places. And I don't know if that's too much to expect, but I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful.
Hello. Hello. Hi, Penny.
How are you?
Lovely to see you.
You too.
How are you?
I'm all right. Scared.
Good. Are you scared?
Yeah, I'm a bit, I'm a bit nervous to see it. Excited, but a bit nervous.
Okay. I'll show you, shall I? Okay.
Oh my God! That's amazing. That's so amazing. can't even see anything. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
It's just unbelievable. Thank you. Can I have a look on the back?
Of course you can, yeah.
Oh my God, it's absolutely amazing. My dad, my grandma is so proud.
That's so lovely.
It's lovely. Sorry. Absolutely beautiful. I'm completely overwhelmed. It's amazing. It's going to have to be put somewhere very up high now.
Away from the cats?
Away from the cats. Away from anyone, I think. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, so much.
If you'd like to take it, it's yours.
Oh my God. Just really carefully. I don't want to drop it. I'm absolutely God. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I am just completely overwhelmed. It's more than I could have hoped for. You can't see anything's happened to it. It's just awesome, absolutely amazing. So I'm really thrilled.